Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to handle things in HubSpot and Zapier when the time date output is this Unix style timestamp. And basically what this is a code, and you can see I've got this other website that I've opened up, the current epoch Unix timestamp, which is a calculation and is used in a number of different kinds of software. Originally from a long time back. Basically, it's a calculation of the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970. And then it looks kind of like this when it comes out. It creates a very accurate number, but it's not very useful for a human to look at, to tell what time and day it is. And in HubSpot, when you do certain things in Zapier or in other tools, similar tools, the data comes through. You can see this new engagement in HubSpot. The timestamp comes through as a Unix timestamp, like this. And so we can use this number to then calculate what time it is and what day it is. But obviously, if you're looking at it as a person and this comes through in an email like this, I've added this in here. This is useless for a person to understand, when this came through. So what I've done is I've set up a Zap here. And what this Zap is going to do is every time there's a new call logged in HubSpot, it'll trigger this Zap. And you can see here, it's a HubSpot trigger step in Zapier. The event is new engagement. And then the trigger is the type I've selected is call. And you can set one up for notes, tasks, meetings, emails. So I've done call. So whenever a call is tracked and logged in HubSpot, so for example, you can do it like this. In HubSpot, click log call, or you can actually click over here, call, log call like this. And then when this is logged, then it should trigger the Zap step. So let me show you. I've got this snippet installed. And if you haven't seen snippets in HubSpot before, I'll share a video. You can check out the video I did before about that. And I've got a snippet here, which is like a little template that I use. So click discovery call. It automatically pops in the person's name here. And then a template of email of questions that I can ask and fill in during the call that I have with the client like this. And then that then saves into this engagement here in HubSpot to log the call. And that then triggers the Zap here. And so this information comes through. We've got one that I did earlier here as this example. All the information's come through. We've got the timestamp as I mentioned. And so the next step is to grab the information about the contact. Let me zoom in a bit here. And so like I've gone through in a previous video as well about associations, the engagement is a certain kind of object in HubSpot that's associated with a contact and a company. And the information that comes through Zapier is the ID for the contact and the company. And you can see here the contact IDs. I'm only going to do it for individual when it's logged with an individual contact and company. But I've done some other videos around multiple using loops, which I'll link to above as well. Basically, this is just assuming there's one contact, one company. And so we don't need to find the associations for this engagement because the associations are already included here. We can just go straight to the next step, which is to get the contact information. So again, this is a HubSpot step. Event is get contact. The action in the contact ID, you've got the contact ID from the first trigger step. And then you click continue and test. And then the same for company, get company ID like this from that first trigger step, continue, and then test. And now what we need to do is we want to format using the date time formatter, which I introduced in the previous video. We want the information to come through here from the timestamp. I can type in timestamp like this, and this is our Unix code timestamp. We want this information to then reformat into readable information for our email that we're going to send. And so the first thing to note is the timestamp is always in the UTC, Universal Time, or kind of like GMT. You can leave it like that here from the from time zone. And we want to select the from format to be this Unix. We can go down to the bottom and select the X. Scroll right down like this. And so we select this one with the long form numbers here. And then we can select in the to format how we want it to appear. So we can select from any of the options like this. You can see in the brackets, Sunday, January just the date, just the time, etc. So I'm going to select this one here. And you can also add your own custom one as well. You could also click custom and then type in format. I've went through that in the previous video, so check that out if you want to see more about that. And then we click continue. We test the step. And so we can see here March 18 at 7:09, like this, which is the time, let's see, which is UTC. We want to change the time zone. So let's say we want to make it Melbourne time. We're going to select Melbourne there, continue, retest step. Great. And now we can see it's at 6:09 p.m. for that. And then we can drop that in the email template. So this is the email that I've set up here for all new calls that are logged. I'm going to send the email to my team address here. This is like an internal notification email for me. The from name, the subject, I've got new call logged, and then dash, and then the company name, which is coming through this step here. I'm doing HTML, so I can drop in the body of that log of this text here, going straight into the email. And so we've got this HTML formatting. I've got using this BR for line breaks, new call logged, contact, and then name, last name, email. These are all fields that I'm pulling in from this previous step here. Company name, line breaks. I've got line breaks throughout with this very simple HTML. And then we have our date, and you can see here it's the timestamp coming in from step 1. So we want to remove that, and we want to replace that with the output of our formatter step, like this. There we go. We can see that, and then we've got our other line breaks, and then the message. So let's do a test of this step, and we can go back to our inbox. We can see it's come through now. Great. So now we can see the date is formatted like this instead of like this. And the rest of the information is here. So that's very easy. Obviously the final step would be then to publish this Zap and turn this on and rename it so you don't forget what it's regarding. So let me know if this is useful and if you'd like any other more detailed explanations for how you can use any of the formatter steps in Zapier or how you're connecting things up with HubSpot. Don't forget to check out my other videos. If this is useful for you, I'd love for you to subscribe and to like the video. So thanks again for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.